Time for Q&A. Why Moontime Collective? The problem I see is a need for connection, both a connection to our true selves deep within and a connection with others and even with the natural world. This includes people in our spheres, but also people who are strangers near us or people who are strangers on the other side of the globe. I see a disconnection from our own histories and a disconnection from the natural world, the plants, the rocks, the big beautiful scenery, down to the tiniest dewdrops, but also the tiny speck of earth right beside you right now. And so Moontime Collective was born many, many years ago in a land far away, East Texas. My friend, who's now long gone, initiated me into this by hosting a New Moon's Women's Circle, which is basically a structured time where women would gather to talk about our emotions and our hopes and dreams for the future. An 18-year-old was sharing a problem that was complex that I had never encountered and probably never would, while a woman who was in her 50s or 60s was sharing a problem that I had mastered when I was in junior high. And I realized our lives really are the same book. They're just chapters organized in different orders and different settings. It was magic. So mutually supportive and uplifting. When she left the area, I eventually started hosting my own and dabbled in graphic design, and the name Moontime Collective was born. A pattern was formed. We met on the new moon, and at the time, my friend would host a full moon bonfire gathering every month. We all kind of entered this way of organizing time that was based on the moon instead of based on the sun and the daily calendar. And it really brought this natural rhythm of, at the new moon, coming together to be kind of quiet and cozy and just hang out and spend time in the living room. And then at the full moon, going out with the whole community and celebrating and having fun with music and snacks and whatever around a fire. And it was such a healthy rhythm of internal and then expansion. And I kind of started referring to that as Moontime. It's a challenge to restructure all of human life in a new way that's more natural and more supportive for the individual and for the community. And I would host my circle on the true new moon, which means it would actually change by the day of the week, sometimes Monday, Tuesday, etc. And I like that because it means no matter what a woman's personal or professional commitments were, she could always at least make it to some of the new moons. If they're always on Friday, but you work Friday, then you couldn't come. But if it's on Thursday sometimes, you can come on Thursday. I like honoring that. I also think there's a certain energy. Just ask everyone in the ER if full moons are more hectic. New moons are more chill and more for coming together quietly, whereas full moon is more for letting all the energy out, letting all the tension out. Once you learn to harness that, then you can plan to do something really active or public on full moon and use all that extra energy for something really fun or something really good instead of staying home and fighting or something. I also like the idea of freeing ourselves from the Gregorian calendar and the way that structures, and freeing ourselves from the pressure to be a certain way every day, but instead following the moon cycle, which is a more natural ebb and flow. It can align with a woman's natural energy level according to her menstrual cycle. So we're living in these longer, slower periods of rest and activity rather than the daily wake up, run, eat lunch, run, sleep at night. It's kind of, if we can restructure time, we can restructure everything about this human life right now, right? That's what I invite you into, is a new way of reframing the rhythm of your life based on something that is more beautiful, with a focus on well-being rather than productivity every day. And it's collective. You might ask why it's a collective when it really is just me. And it's because I'm inviting everyone into this life of exploring our inner world and expressing ourselves, this life of exploring the outer world and seeing what beauty we can find out there, and also the interconnectedness of humanity. a major value is like the gathering and sharing of time with each other, the gathering of people and sharing our time and our lives together, finding human connection wherever you can, and seeking to lift others up as you yourself is also lifted up by other people. And so it's a collective. And with that, like the long-term goal, of course, is living in intentional community. Throughout my life, I've found myself accidentally part of communities where you can really see all the strengths of the different people come together, and the group can really thrive more than any individual could thrive on their own. It's like we all fill in the holes for each other with our strengths. We fill in the weaknesses of other people. And a mutual giving and sharing and also receiving is a really healthy way to live a human life. So the long-term goal, of course, I always thought was like an intentional community, permaculture, business out in the woods, but lately I think that my life might actually be more city-based. So I don't know what that'll look like. That's a good 10 years out. But in the short term, it's about sharing all the gifts that I have with you. And even if you're watching this for a second, you're part of the collective, right? The Moontime Collective. I like that Moontime also refers to menstruation because I'm also all about restructuring society according to love and nurturing values. So my life still kind of follows the rhythm of the moon. New moon, I always try to do something chill and quiet, maybe even gather with my friends to talk about emotions and set intentions. And full moon, I always try to plan like a night out or a night gathering with family or a group of friends, or dancing, something, or even a big long hike, something to like physically express a lot of energy. Pulling back a new project. Conveniently, today is Thursday, which is the full moon right now in the month of October, so it's very auspicious to be releasing a video and expressing myself to the world. I'd also like to introduce you to all the art in my art studio, which is available on my website. I have a lot of originals and a lot of prints, and I'm in the process of rehashing that and putting more out, so keep an eye on it and come back next week and there will probably be more. This one's still a work in progress. Most of my pieces are oil, some are acrylic. They're all about the internal journey and expressing myself. And I hope that you can connect and like you see things that you connect with and relate to. So I naturally started living my life according to the moon cycles, and I invite everyone to do that. Pause, reflect on new moon, open up, celebrate, shout your news from the rooftop on full moon. Stay still during new moon, get really active on full moon. Then I heard about planning the weeks according to the planets that they're named after. So Monday is Moon Day, which is Moon Day while I'm filming this. And the moon is all about like phases, going inside the internal weather system, right? So I always try to plan an easy Monday morning and no stressful meetings on Monday morning to kind of ease into the week and like get in that dreamy, emotional, moony flow. I even will work extra Sunday afternoon so I can have a chill Monday morning when I have a lot of projects going on. Moontime Collective. If you're ready to join, go ahead and subscribe. Check out my website. I'd be so happy to hear from you, and I hope that you have a great week. But more importantly, spend some time connecting with how you really feel and connecting with what you really want. And then spend time observing other people and holding space and see how they really feel and see what they really want. I don't know exactly what the end goal will look like, but I see the stars guiding me along the way and I know it's going to be good. And together we can make this magic happen.